Hello, hello.
Hi, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Uh,
So we'll start in next 5 minutes, sir.
yes, so I'm just checking the video and audio, so whether it is coming properly or not.
Yes.
Can you make me host so that I can check the screen sharing also?
Sure. Just allow me a moment, sir.
Yeah.
Just allow me a moment, sir. So I've called the office. They are making me host, sir. So once they make me host, I'll just make you host right away. And sir,
Yeah.
what? How do you wish to convey the meeting? So, like, I'll unmute. I'll disable
Yes,
everyone to
so
unmute.
I think after the initial introduction and all the formalities, so I will start my presentation,
Yes.
and I would like to continue the presentation non-stop for 45 minutes,
True.
and then I will take questions from the members one by one, and I would like to capture all the questions in within the permitted time. That's why I have kept 45 minutes for my presentation and 45 minutes for discussion, so that the this group discussion should serve its purpose. Otherwise, it will not help the our members that I am only talking and I'm not giving them an opportunity to discuss.
True. That is true, sir. Correct. But at times we even realize that sir, people have limited questions. So that like
No, so basically, what because what I'm going to share my practical experience.
sure.
So normally, and wherever I take the sessions, so I cover all the questions, whichever is there. Normally, in my sessions, my audience are practicing chartered accountants only. So I used to cover all their questions, whatever questions are there in their mind. I used to cover all their questions in my presentation only. So if you watch my presentation critically from start till end, everything will get covered.
Right, sir.
Can you make me host so that
I've
can
already done, sir. Yeah, I made you
uh,
co-host. I'm sure now you'll be able to present the
so
screen experience.
let me share my screen. So you just give me a confirmation whether the screen is visible or not.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Screen is visible, na? And once I will share the presentation, then I think you can pin so me on.
Yes, I'll do that, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
So that your video is visible to all.
Yes, so even earlier also I have written couple of articles for ACAE. So I think around 5 7 years ago.
Yes, sir.
So then I met your Neeraj bhai. I met Neeraj bhai at WOPA.
Even I met you, if I'm not mistaken, sir. So I
You
was
was
there
there.
also.
You
Yes,
was there at WOPA.
yes, yes. Along with
Okay,
Neeraj,
okay, okay. So maybe I'm not able to recollect.
no problem.
So how we keep these sessions in ACAE is shown and I guess this is the CP session, right?
No, this is a non-CP session. See, CPs are usually physical sessions. So
Okay,
this is a non-CP session, sir.
okay.
So these are
So we are.
majorly sessions where we are able to bring in speakers from different locations and the idea is to keep it interactive so that people by and large can have more interaction and can learn from, your learning or the speaker's learning as such, sir.
Yeah. And we usually keep these sessions every month, or 2 sessions in a month. How you are
So
keeping these
what we are
sessions?
primarily doing now is approximately in fortnight we are having 1 or 2 sessions basing on basis the demand supply. So consider July and September will have comparatively lower sessions, sir, because of the
Mm-hmm.
pressure, professional pressure of work.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
Apart from that, so it depends basis the need. So like we have a session lined up on 25th on DBDP also.
Okay. So how
So
many
we
members presently are there in case of in ACAE?
so around 1700 members, sir.
1700 members. Good. So main all major chartered accountants are covered in ACAE.
Mix of chartered accountant professionals, all kind of professionals,
Okay,
CACS.
okay, okay, okay.
In the past, President Devashish Mitra sir was a president of ACAE.
Okay, okay. So, okay. Devasis Mitra sir, I know. So, Devasis Mitra sir. So, I know Devasis Mitra sir, Subodh Agarwal sir, and Ranjit Bhaiya. I know them personally. So, good.
Niti madam, just allow me 1 more minute. So let's formally start the session. Good evening, all. I am Sumit Bihani, and on behalf of ACI, I take an opportunity to welcome all of you to this virtual group discussion on income tax appeals and income tax faceless appeals. The session would be divided into 2 parts. So first, Vikas sir would be deliberating on the topic, and post that, we would request all of you to please unmute yourself and ask questions once sir has deliberated on the topic, so that everyone can have maximum takeaways from the session. And just for the interest of all, I would like to share that we have as ACI, our initiative is always to impart knowledge, and we have a next session lined up on 25th, which is on DBDP. So it's again a very good opportunity for professionals to, learn and grow. And apart from this, before I formally start the session, I would play the ACI theme song, and post that we'll start the session. So just allow me a moment's time.
निष्काम तू जो कर्म कर, विश्वास हो जो धर्म पर, हर नियति में हो गति, जग जीत ले तू। हो हौसला चट्टान सा, हो श्वास में तूफान सा, मझधार को अब पार कर, जग जीत ले तू। उद्घोष कर अब हर हृदय में जोश भर, पहचान तू जो लक्ष्य है, जीवन तेरा उत्कर्ष है, जग जीत ले तू। हो सत्यनिष्ठ तेरी डगर, हो रोशनी हर राह पर, अब बस यही पैगाम दे, सृष्टि नए आयाम ले, जग जीत ले तू, जग जीत ले तू, जग जीत ले।
So thank you so very much. I would quickly So I'll quickly introduce the speaker for our day today. And with us, we have just a moment, please. So we have Bikash sir with us, and the profile is even displayed for your reference. So, sir, Bikash sir is a fellow member of ICAI. He's a company secretary and a qualified law graduate. Sir is a co-founder and partner at a CA firm with the name SBR and Company Chartered Accountants, having a HO in Mumbai. Sir has more than 17 years of practical experience in technical intricacies of various matters like income tax matters, including international taxation, litigation handling, FEMA, cross-border structuring, advisory related to merger acquisition, and other advisory services. Sir is a regular speaker and has spoken on several forums. So I welcome you, sir, to our forum of ACA. And as we are virtually connected on this call, so as a token of love, I would request just a second. I hope, sir, I am sure that my screen is visible, right? So yes. So as a token of love, sir, we would like to welcome you to ACI, and as we are connecting virtually, the virtual momentum of light. So with this, I would hand over the session to Bikash sir. The session is all yours. I'll unmute rest of all members so that we have better access
वो
to.
सेम प्रोसीड्यूर है जाए
Thank you, Sumit, for my introduction. So, শুভ সন্ধ্যা কলকাতা, আপনারা সবাই কেমন আছো? So, I know a little bit Bangla. So, since I did my CA from Kolkata only, so it's a wonderful feeling to share my thoughts with my fellow chartered accountants of Kolkata region. So, it gives me immense joy and pleasure. So I thank ACA and its president to giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts with all of you. So for today's session, I would like to first take you all through the faceless regime, faceless appeal regime, and other technical aspects of income tax. I would like to cover in my session. I would like to cover all the practical aspects, and I hope I will cover majority of the question which is there in your mind. And I have kept my session 45 minutes, my presentation, and I've kept 45 minutes for question and answer. I would like to take questions from each and every member. So if you have any questions, you keep your questions in your mind till the time I complete my presentation. And once my presentation is complete, then I will take questions one by one from each and every member. Let me share my slide. Is my slide is visible? Can anyone, Sumin, can you tell me?
Yes, sir, visible.
So, okay. So, income tax faceless appeals. So, I would like to take all of you in the memory zone 5 years ago. So, 5 years ago, what was the most buzzword across the world? Anybody is having any thought regarding that? What was that buzzword across the globe 5 years, around 5 years ago? Roughly around Feb and March 2020. Anyone, any guess? So that buzzword was COVID-19. So now you will say that why COVID-19 is coming here? Because COVID-19 is having a big impact in our life. And everything related to COVID-19 was negative. The only positive thing with respect to COVID-19 was course adoption of digital technology. I'm a practicing chartered accountant, and it was not in my wildest dream to do my practice virtually, completely through online mode. But COVID-19 forced me to do this. Within 1 month of COVID-19, I was working 100% remotely, work from home. My entire team was working remotely, work from home, and we were working on 100% efficiency. This was the need of the hour. And finance ministry, income tax department also taken the cue from this, and they understood that this is the need of the hour, and they should bring certain technology which will help taxpayer to handle the matters in a faceless way. And accordingly, finance minister has brought the faceless regime assessment and appeals in case of CIT bills, in case of income tax. So before going into the faceless regime, so let's first understand the traditional way of appeal. So unless you don't know about traditional way of appeal, you will not able to correlate the traditional way as well as the current way. So what was the traditional way of appeal? So I'm taking a practical example. Suppose your client having its office at Cotton Street, Bada Bazaar, and you are a chartered accountant. Your office is in Poddar Court, and the jurisdictional income tax officer is sitting at Ruby. Income tax office at Ruby. And CIT appeal was also sitting at Ruby. So what was happening earlier, that in case of earlier traditional way of appeals, whenever there was an assessment order passed by assessing officer, these appeals were getting filed physically in the office of CIT appeal at Ruby. After filing the appeal, so in the appeal memo, you have written address of the company and all other particulars. After filing the appeal,
Sir, we are, your probably internet issue. There's some issue with your internet. We have lost your voice. I think we have lost sir because of some internet issues. Let's hold on for a minute. He'll join us back. Yes, sir. We
extremely
lost you
sorry.
probably because of some internet issues.
I think that there was some internet issues, so I'm extremely sorry for that. So let me start once again. Is my screen visible?
Probably in a minute. Yes, it is visible, sir.
Hmm. Wait a minute. Yes, sorry for the technical yeah. So I was discussing about the traditional way of
Sir, alternatively, even it is still cracking. If you
CIT
can
appeals.
stop the video and then share, that would be great.
Hello?
Because we are losing your voice.
Okay. Let me change the yeah. I think that there was some problem in the internet. Connect the hotspot. Yes, so let me, I think, am I audible now properly? Sumit? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, your voice is audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Now it's actually the internet is fluctuating a bit, so that's why I think
So for the time, now it is proper. In case you find any issues, you can switch off the camera. That would do. But as of now, it is good, sir.
yes. So and so if you facing any difficulty in the in my voice, then you can prompt me. I will off my video.
Sure, sir. Done.
Okay. So sorry for the inconvenience. So let me continue. So we have filed a physical appeal before CIT appeal, and the company has received a communication has been made from the CIT appeal office to the taxpayer that your hearing is fixed on so and so date. Please come and attend the hearing. So many times, what was happening earlier there was a change in the registered office of the company, and this was not communicated to the income tax department. And in many cases, in those cases, what was happening that these appeals, since SSC has not complied with those notices, these appeals were getting dismissed ex parte. Second problem. So what was the problem is this case? Your office is in Podar Court and CIT, suppose you have received the hearing notice from CIT appeal that you need to appear for hearing on this and this date at this time. So from your Podar Court office, you went to Ruby for attending the hearing. So it will take around 1.5 hour or 2 hours to reach the Ruby. And when you reach there, you find that there are already 20 chartered accountants in the queue and you are 21st. So there is a long waiting hour, 2 to 3 hours. Even after that, you have attended the hearing. Then during the course of hearing, CITPL is told that please submit these additional document and please provide this additional explanation. So many times there were around 10 to 15 hearings in a single case. And even I have attended couple of hearings where I have attended the hearing more than 30 times. So you can imagine whenever you are attending a hearing, your one day is gone from start till end. Third problem was that proceedings before CIT appeal were sometimes led to a subjective approach. What is a subjective approach? Suppose there is an addition on account of section 68 in your case, cash credit, and that particular CIT appeal has already taken a negative view in some other matters. So he is not going to give you relief in your matter, and he will interpret your case in his own in his own way. He is not going to listen to any of the court decision or any of the argument. He will not take. Another problem in the traditional way of appeal was record keeping. So many times, like we
Excellent. Because sir, you need to probably switch off the camera because the voice is again cracking. Sir, you need मैं 1 मिनट में कॉल बैक करता हूँ वापस। I had a word with the speaker. He's joining in next 3-4 minutes. Probably there's some internet issues with his office. So he'll join in next 2 minutes. So I'm so sorry for this. I would request you to all please be there for next 2-3 minutes. So you can unmute yourself, sir.
Sumit, can you make me? Ha. Extremely sorry for the inconvenience. So actually, there was some technical outage from my side, so that's why my Zoom got crashed. So my screen is visual, Sumit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to go. So I think we should say कि लेके प्रभु का नाम we should start with Ganesh Ji Maharaj
Yes, I think
के
so.
नाम से.
There is some technical issue. Normally, we don't face this kind of technical issues, so I don't know why it is happening. So let's continue. Yes. So I was discussing about the traditional way of appeals. So how traditional way of CIT appeals were handled by we chartered accountants earlier, and what has changed. So now I'm coming to the subsequent part. Aim behind introduction of faceless proceeding. What was the aim of the Finance Ministry Income Tax Department to bring the faceless regime? So first and foremost, the aim was to reduce the human interface between CITPL and the taxpayer. And I don't want to explain the reason behind why they don't want, why they want to reduce the human interface. So we all are practicing chartered accountant and we know the reason. Second thing, ensure transparency in the proceeding. So again, so many times the appellate proceedings were not transparent as per the requirement. So to bring more transparency in those cases, faceless regime was introduced. Third one is increase in the efficiency of the tax administration. Like earlier, whenever there was a record keeping, so it was very difficult for each and everyone to fetch any of the records. Like there many times few of the documents were getting misplaced during the assessment proceeding or the appellate proceedings. So now in the faceless regime, everything is online. So you cannot say so when like even in case before CIT appeal, if CIT will asking that whether you have submitted this document before AO, you can say I have submitted this document before AO in the assessment proceeding. Why this written submission dated this, and these are the list of the document. And if assessing is saying this, CITPL can cross verify those things. And transferring of record, since all the document has been submitted during the assessment proceeding, these document can be easily transferred to the CITPLs. Ensure that proceedings are technically sound. So earlier, CITPL decisions were very subjective and they were passing the order based on their understanding of the law and a few other factors. But now, in the faceless regime, the proceedings are extremely technically sound. Another thing, taking a consistent view on various issues. So earlier, CITPL were taking views on various issues based on their past president, their personal past president, not based on the presidents of the jurisdiction, so say in case West Bengal jurisdiction, Kolkata jurisdiction, or some other jurisdictions. They were taking decisions based on whether they have decided any appeal in their case, whether in favor or in against. And another aim was to avoid prolonged and unwanted litigation. So how they can avoid all these litigations? So that for that, these were the all major aim for the introduction of faceless regime. So now we need to first understand what is faceless regime, from where this came, and how it is going to operate. So let's understand it with a practical example. So what was my earlier example? So you need to keep this example throughout the session. There is a taxpayer located in Cotton Street, Bada Bazar. Chartered accountant office is in Bodar Court. Income tax officer ITO jurisdiction, jurisdictional ITO is sitting at Ruby, and CITPL was also sitting at Ruby. This is the earlier, this is the scenario. So now, in the faceless regime, what income tax department did? They have created a central nodal agency, and this nodal agency will be a one point contact with everyone. This nodal agency is situated in New Delhi. And after that, they have divided entire India in four parts: east, west, north, south. And in four division, east, west, north, south, they have created many appeal units. So what is appeal unit? So earlier, when there was an appeal, physical appeal, what you were doing, you were going to meet the CIT say CIT 1 at Ruby, CIT 2 at Government Place, CIT 3 at Dalhousie, and other places. Like earlier, say for example, in case of Kolkata jurisdiction, there were 30 CIT, say for example. So now all those 30 CIT has been converted into appeal units. Like this, they have created appeal units in all over India wherever there were physical CIT appeals. Now you will ask a question that how this system is going to work. So nowadays we all are fascinated about AI. Every second person is talking about AI. So let me tell you one secret thing, my friend. So in India, one of the most advanced AI tool is getting used by income tax department. So all these communication is done through advanced AI data analytics. The moment you will file the appeal online, that appeal will go to National Faceless Appeal Center in Delhi. And from National Faceless Appeal Center in Delhi, this will allocate to any of the East, West, North, South zone. And from the East, West, North, South zone, this appeal will be transferred to any of the appeal units. Suppose in your case, your client is located at Cotton Street and your jurisdictional ITO is located at Ruby. And in that case, suppose the National Faceless Appeal Center has transferred your appeal to an appeal unit located at Andaman and Nicobar. There is a very, you will never know that I am giving this location just for the sake of understanding, but in practical world, you will not able to get where your CIT appeal is located. I am just giving you an example for the understanding purpose. So you have filed an appeal. Your appeal is now shifted to appeal unit located at Andaman and Nicobar. And now all the communications shall be made from that appeal unit to the SAC and vice versa. Personal appearance for hearing is permitted through video conferencing. So the word is faceless, but we are allowed to do the hearing through video conferencing. And how it works, so like we are using this Zoom meeting or we are using Teams meeting or Google Meet, so it is like that only. But in case of faceless regime, whenever you are doing the appeal through video conferencing, you will not able to see the face of CIT appeal. CIT appeal video will be off. His voice will be on, but you need to keep your video on. So this is faceless. You need to show your face. You need to show your ID card. That if you are a chartered accountant representing your case as per the letter of authority, then you need to show your ID card that you are that same person. And this uh, virtual hearing is getting recorded. So again, this is very important. So like many times, like a client will say, whether you have taken the hearing, why you have not taken this argument. So you and the recording will be shared with you also, and that you can also share with your client that boss, I have taken this, I have taken this hearing, I have taken this argument, and all other stuffs. How the communication will take place in faceless proceeding. This is very important. So this communication shall be made 100% through SSH income tax e-filing portal. So in the income tax e-filing portal, there is a tab called assessment proceeding. In the assessment proceeding, if you will go, then you will get all the notices. Year wise, you will get all the notices. And whenever a hearing notice is issued by the appeal unit located at Andaman and Nicobar, that hearing notice will automatically come to the SSC's registered e-filing portal. Along with that, the hearing notice will come to SSH and SSH AR email address. So what one need to do? So in the case of faceless regime, so you should update the email ID which is working. and you should update the email ID of your chartered accountant also. And along with that, that email ID should be added as your as a safe sender list. Many times what is happening that the email is received from income tax department and that is dumping directly in the spam folder of the taxpayer. Or many times, suppose in case of any company, so suppose they have there is one tax manager, so he has given his email ID abc.xyz.com, and that ABC person has left the company, and his email ID is there in the income tax record. And after that person left the organization, that email ID stopped working. Then as a taxpayer, what you need to do? So immediately you need to update the record. So mail ID, mobile number should be updated in the income tax portal. This is most important thing. Apart from that, income tax department is also sending SMS to the taxpayer as well as the authorized representative, chartered accountant as well as the tax consultants. How you can file the appeal before CIT appeal? So earlier we were filing the appeals through the through the physical mode in the office of the CIT appeal. Now this appeal is getting filed online. So in case of faceless appeal filing, when you will file Form 35, so many of the information will get auto-fetched from your income tax e-filing account as well as your assessment records. So make sure that your income tax e-filing profile is updated. If there is wrong address, wrong mail ID, wrong mobile number, then all communication will go to there. So you can file the appeal online. What document you need to require for filing the appeal? Statement of facts, grounds of appeal, assessment order, and notice of demand. And you need to pay certain prescribed appeal filing fees, that is around 250 rupees to 1000 rupees, depending upon the nature of the appeal. So this is statement of facts. What is statement of facts? Statement of facts is a statement through which you are explaining your facts to the appellate authorities in brief. Many of the chartered accountants do not understand the difference between statement of facts and written submission. What practice I follow, that whatever big the assessment order is, I usually prepare only one page of a statement of facts. Crisp, concise, to the point. Don't write absurd things, don't write argumentative. You need to write crisp, concise facts in the statement of facts. So based on my practical experience, so I have jotted down a few bullet points. So let me explain one by one everything. Bring out genuineness of the SSC by providing its background. How you can make a case before CIT appeal. So the moment you need to make a case like this, the moment CIT will read your statement of facts, they will get a first impression about the taxpayer. This is a good taxpayer. He's paying good amount of taxes, and he's not an habitual offender like this. So what you can do? So let me give an example. Suppose your client is doing some business. They are having a turnover of around 50 crore. And every crore your client is showing a profit of 20 crore and paying taxes of around 5 to 6 crore every year. So what you can write, the appellant company, a manufacturing concern, is showing a turnover of around 50 crore in last 5 to 6 years and showing a net profit of around 20 crores in last 5 to 6 years, and also paying a tax of around on an average 5 to 5 crore in last couple of years. The moment you will write this, it will give a positive impression in the mind of the mind of the appellate authorities that this taxpayer is genuine and they are paying their taxes on through genuine mode. Then, in case of suppose if there is an individual, what you can write? You can write the individual's academic background, qualification, family background, his association with many of the organizations. So you need to think differently. You need to bring certain out of the box thought to bring the genuineness of the SSC, and you need to give his background. Second point, which you need to bring in the statement of facts, is the you need to highlight factual, clerical, and legal errors in the order. So, what is factual, clerical, and legal errors? So, many times assessment order is passed by violating certain stuffs, and the assessing office is writing too many stuffs, and they are not accepting our argument, and they are writing too many other stuffs which is not at all relevant. and many times they are writing some stuff which is factually incorrect. So whenever these things are there in any of the order, you jot down all those stuffs critically and prepare a bullet point of all those points and write it down in the statement of facts. Again, then whatever documents you have filed before assessing officer. So many times what is happening that during the course of assessment proceeding, we are filing many documents before before the ITO, but the ITO is completely disregarding the document filed before them and is passing the order. Like in case of addition under section 68, suppose there is share capital transaction of 1 crore. With respect to 1 crore, suppose there are 4 to 5 investors who has made the investment in the company and they were in aggregate the total amount of share capital is 1 crore. Assessing officer made an addition of this share capital under section 68. But in this case, what document I have submitted? I have submitted KYC document of the investor, bank statement, shareholding details, board resolution, valuation certificate, and all other details. So we need to specifically mention that during the course of assessment proceeding, we have submitted these document before the assessing officer. Later assessing officers completely disregarded all this document while passing in order in our case. The moment you will write these stuff, then it will give an impression in the mind of the appellate authority that boss, this taxpayer has filed these details before the assessing officer, and the assessing officer is not considered or any of these details while passing this order. Another point, suppose if you are not able to file any details before AO, then provide reason for non-submitting those documents. Practical scenario. So March is coming. So in the month of March, income tax officers are super active. They will give you notice on a weekend, Friday night, and they will tell you that please provide the details by Monday morning. Practically in the Friday night, so Saturday, Sunday, client office is closed, and you are helped with no other option but to pray that please provide additional time. And in the month of March, income tax officers are not providing any additional time. So if you will not submit the details on Monday morning, by Monday afternoon, they will pass an order making an addition in your case. Then what you will do? So if you face any such kind of scenario, write down these steps critically in your statement of facts. That learned assessing officer is completely without giving proper time for providing the details, pass the assessment order in complete violation of principle of natural justice. Then elaborate the legal contention. So suppose if there is an addition on account of 14A 60, 14A 68 or some 37. So if there is any legal issue, so write down those legal issues in brief. Again, so I'm again repeating that whenever you are writing a statement of facts, it should be 1 page only. You cannot write essay, elaborate essay, or like you cannot write a statement of facts in an argumentative manner. Again, one more point, why statement of fact is so crucial. Suppose if CITPL has passed a negative order in your case, then you will move to ITAT. In the ITAT appeal filing, which documents are there at the time of which document you need to submit at the time of filing of appeal? Copy of assessment order, copy of Form 35, statement of facts, grounds of appeal, and copy of CIT appeal order. So, statement of fact, the moment you will file an appeal before ITAT, ITAT judge will read your statement of facts, which you have filed before CIT appeal. So, that if your statement of facts is properly drafted, that will give a positive impression in the mind of CIT appeal, in the mind of ITAT judges, that this case is very sharp, or the KSSC is having a genuine case before them. So that will help them to gain a positive impression in the mind of the taxpayer, in the mind of ITAT judges. So now I'm coming to grounds of appeal. So again, there is a difference between statement of facts and grounds of appeal. So recently, I have appeared in one of the cases, one of the company's case. Their existing consultant has filed appeal before CIT appeal. So I was reading the document. So what I found that whatever steps the consultant was supposed to write in statement of facts, they have written all those facts in grounds of appeal, and whatever steps they were supposed to write in the grounds of appeal, they have written in statement of facts. So this will give a negative impression in the mind of CIT appeal that boss, this consultant even don't know how to write a statement of facts and grounds of appeal. So whenever you will write grounds of appeal should be of one sentence and specific, to the point specific. You cannot argument, you cannot make any argument. To the point specific. How you can say the to the point is specific? So let me give an example to you. Suppose in my previous example, there was an addition on account of section 68 rupees 1 crore, in which I have submitted all the document before the CIT appeal, and CIT appeal has passed, the order without accepting my details, and also CIT and assessing officer passed the order without accepting my details, as well as assessing officer has not provided me any proper opportunity. So what shall be my grounds of appeal? Learned assessing officer has grossly erred in making an addition of rupees 1 crore on account of section 68, completely disregarding, completely ignoring the document submitted by the appellant, and as well as and as well as violating the principle of natural justice by not providing appropriate timeline. So the moment you will write this, you have covered everything. Highlight the main issue. And the grounds of appeal should not be vague, general, or too lengthy. So like you cannot like an essay or too many things. Normally, majority of the chartered accountant tax consultant are drafting grounds of appeal like a vague essay. It seems that they are writing an essay, they are participating in an essay competition, and they are writing an essay in detail. You need to write to the point specific, one liner. Suppose there is addition on account of section 68, one sentence for addition on account of 68. There is addition on account of 14A, then one line for addition on account of 14A, and so on and so forth. Legal ground related to limitation, natural justice, jurisdictional issues should be raised. What is limitation? Suppose in case of assessment, the time barring date is 31st March. Assessing officer has passed the assessment order on 5th of April. Then this order is time barred by limitation. So whenever you find any such kind of issue, write down this point and eh, create a separate ground for this. That assessment order is time barred. Natural justice, I have already explained. If CIT appeal, if assessing officer is not given you appropriate time for submitting the documents, then you raise that this assessment order has been passed with completely violating the principle of natural justice and without providing an opportunity of personal hearing. Jurisdictional issue. What is jurisdictional issue? Suppose in case of any reopening matters, suppose that particular notice was supposed to be issued by jurisdictional income tax officer, and that notice has been issued by faceless income tax officer. So hence, in this case, there is a problem of jurisdiction. So if you find any such kind of issue where there is a jurisdictional issue, or suppose if the jurisdictional assessing officer need to take the prior permission of the jurisdictional CIT for reopening any case, and if you are facing any, and if there is any such point raised in that particular case, then you need to raise specific ground with respect to this grounds of appeal. Condonation of delay. So this is again very important. So you can file the appeal within 30 days from the date of service of notice of demand and assessment order. Suppose this 30 days has been passed. What you can do? Whether you can file the appeal or how you will proceed with this appeal filing. So If there is a delay, then you need to prepare a request for condonation of delay, and that should be attached along with the appeal memo, and that should be submitted. Include some supporting case law where condonation has been allowed in similar circumstances. And suppose if the delay is happened due to the from the office of the chartered accountant, then also attach an affidavit for the delay. So during the course of my discussion with many practicing chartered accountants, so they have raised certain questions that what will happen in case of condonation delay in this scenario, that scenario. So I have jotted down two, 3 points for the general understanding of everyone. So first and foremost, very important question, whether delay on the part of consultant in filing the appeal is sufficient cause. Suppose the client has given you the document for filing the appeal and it has been missed from your office. You are a chartered accountant. It has missed from your office. Then what you will do? Can you file an appeal in the condition of delay? Can you write that from my office there was a delay and due to which appeal could not be filed in time? So if this is your case, then the answer is yes. You can raise this plea before the CIT appeal. So Honorable Supreme Court in case of Concord India Insurance Company Limited and Honorable Bombay High Court in case of Vijay Visin Meghnani. These two decisions, and apart from that, there are many more High Court and ITT decisions which tells that in case of delay on the part of the consultant, the taxpayer should not be hanged. And appellate authorities should consider this plea reasonably. Second point. If the appellant checks the email of the assessment order after 30 days from the date of receipt of email, is it a sufficient cause? So this is one of the common reason for delay in many of the cases, because nowadays faceless regime is totally new. So whenever taxpayer is getting any communication from the income tax department, and since the email of the income tax department is not in the safe sender list, this email is directly going to the spam folder of the taxpayer or the chartered accountant. And when when they come to know about this particular stuff through some communication from the income tax office that some demand is there, then only they come to know that, oh, some assessment order has been passed, and then only they check the email and they find out that the order has been passed and 30 days has already elapsed. In that case, what you can do? Can you take a plea that assessment order has been delivered in my spam folder, or I have not checked it? Then CIT will say about why you are making fool why you are making me fool. So don't raise this silly argument. So if this is a scenario, then Delhi ITAT in case of Mohammed Salim comes to the rescue, where Honorable ITAT has raised view that in this particular scenario, wherever there is a delay on account of non-receipt of the email from Income Tax Department, then Income Tax Department CITP should take this delay positively, since this is a new faceless regime is totally new for a taxpayer as well chartered accountant. So they should consider this delay region continuous of delay reasonably, and they should not on technical grounds should dismiss the appeal. Again, another point, is the length or period of delay is material? Then my question is yes. Suppose if in your case the delay is 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, then there is a reasonable high chance that your delay can be condoned. But if there is a delay of more than 1 year or 2 years, then it's very difficult for getting the delay condoned. So recently, in a few of my client cases, where there was a delay of more than 3 years, and I was able to successfully get the delay condoned from CIT appeal and get the favorable order. So it all depend upon the scenario, in which scenario the delay happened, and what ground, what argument, what reason you are putting before CITP for getting this delay condoned. So you need to be very careful. So while dealing with condonation of delay. Again, so this is one of the most important slide, written submission. How you will prepare the written submission. So in case of many of my clients' cases, so I have submitted written submission in sharp, crisp, and concise manner. And in many of all those matters, so I have submitted only one written submission. My team is prepared for around 4 to 6 months for that particular matter, and we have prepared only one written submission, and we have submitted that written submission before the CIT appeal, and without getting personal hearing. Based on the written submission only, I was able to get favorable order from the Faceless CIT appeal. So based on my practical experience, I've jotted down a couple of bullet points. So let I will explain each point one by one, that how you can prepare the written submission. First, in my earlier slide, I have explained that you need to provide the background of the appellant, background of the appellant company, background of the taxpayer, individual company. Or so I've given you one example that you should write a brief background, not in detail but in crisp. Then you need to bring the facts. When you are writing the facts, you should write crisp, concise facts only. When you are starting the written submission, don't write the arguments, only write the facts. You need to understand the difference between the facts as the argument. Facts means only facts. What exactly happened, what transaction the taxpayer did during that particular year, what what is the treatment by the assessing officer in the assessment proceeding, and what is your plea. So you need to write this factual information in chronological order. Then if there is a many addition on various ground, like addition on account of 68, 14A or 37, then you need to write down each and every ground, each and every written submission should be drafted ground wise. So you need to suppose you are writing first the written submission for 14A, then 68, then 37, and so on and so forth. Legal ground related to limitation, natural justice, jurisdictional issue, validity of order should be explained first. I have explained all these technical point in my earlier slide. So if there is any such legal ground, so you need to raise specifically that legal ground in your written submission. For each ground, you need to cite case law. Case law, your jurisdiction, your client, Kolkata, your jurisdiction, Kolkata ITAT, Kolkata High Court. So whenever you are citing any case law, first give preference to Kolkata ITAT decision, Kolkata High Court decision. If you are not able to find out any direct similar decision of the Kolkata ITAT and Kolkata High Court, then you take the decision of other courts. Then you need to attach supporting documents in respect to your claim. You need to attach all the document with respect to your particular claim, whether these document has been submitted before the assessing officer or you are submitting these documents first time. You need to compile all those documents and you need to submit all the document in one chronological order. Then suppose if assessing officer has cited any case law in the assessment order, then you need to distinguish that why that decision cited by the assessing officer should not be applicable in your case. You need to be very particular that suppose in, and many times I have seen that assessing officer is citing the case law just by the sake of citing the decision. So whether that is applicable or not applicable, they just quote the decision. Okay, we are relying on this decision to dismiss the case of the taxpayer. Many times I find that these decisions are factually not applicable in our case. Then then language should be very polite. So you cannot write that how dare income tax officer can make an addition in my case, completely ignoring all of the blah blah blah. So whenever you are writing, your writing should be polite. You are requesting. CIT appeal is a quasi-judicial authority. You cannot argue like how dare you to make an addition in my case, how dare you to make an tax demand of 10 crore in my head. You cannot write like this. Suppose in your case, CIT assessing officer made an addition of 1 crore. What you can write? Learned assessing officer is grossly erred in making an addition, completely ignoring the details filed during the course of assessment proceeding. thereby violating the principle of natural justice and pass this order in completely arbitrary manner, which is against the law. You can use this polite language. The meaning of both the thing is same, but you cannot use the rude language. If you use the rude language, the CIT will slap with you that negative order. Then provide conclusion for each ground. One more thing which I have not written here, so you need to prepare an index of all the documents. So why index is important? Suppose you need to submit many documents before CIT appeal, and if you will not prepare the index, so then CIT will not able to find a document in your written submission. What happened in one of my case, so their consultant has attended the assessment proceeding and they have submitted some certain documents. So during the course of assessment proceeding, the income tax officer asked certain details, and the consultant has submitted 300-page written submission, single PDF, and in which he has enclosed everything. But what happened? He has not given any index. So if you treat income tax office, income tax assessment proceeding and faceless proceeding as a dump yard, then you will slap with a negative order. In case of that particular case, the way the submission was submitted before the taxpayer, I was pretty much sure that due to this only, the assessing officer has given them the negative order. So whenever you are preparing a return submission, you should prepare an index. Suppose you are having three edition, 14A, 30A, 30, 37 or or any other, then 14A. Suppose you are submitting five documents, then point number one, return submission, point number two, 14A add edition, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. Then again, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, or you can use ABC like this. So the moment CIT appeal will see your index, he will able to find out, and you need to renumber all the document which you are submitting with the CIT appeal. Whatever nature of the document, so you need to renumber the document as per the index and then submit. In case of submission, you cannot upload document more than 10 MB. So you need to divide all the document in parts, and then only you will able to submit all the documents before the CIT appeal. Additional evidence. Again, this is important. Many times, income tax officer is passing the order by completely violating the principle of natural justice, and we are not able to submit any document before the assessing officer. So now the question is coming that whether I can file these additional document before CIT appeal. Then the answer is yes, but you need to prove that what was the genuine reason that you are not able to submit each document before CIT, before the assessing officer, and you need to also include case laws. So last 2 3 years ago, there were some amendments in the Income Tax Act. So as per which, wherever there is ex parte order been passed by the assessing officer, CIT bill was given a power to set aside the original assessment order, and CIT will can give the direction to do the assessment afresh. Instead of earlier provision was that the CIT appeal was sending the additional evidence to the ITO for the remand report, and once the remand report was receiving from CIT assessing officer, then only based on the remand report, CIT bill was passing the order. So now the rule has changed. So in case of best judgment assessment where the no opportunity has been provided to the taxpayer, CIT appeal is remanding back, quashing the original assessment order and remanding back the entire matter to the file of the assessing officer. In case of few of my clients where the income tax officer made arbitrary additions, so I was able to successfully quash that orders without personally appearing before the CIT appeal based on the written submission only. CIT appeal has quashed the original assessment order and directed the assessing officer to redo the assessment fresh. Hearing through video conferencing. So how you can do the hearing through video conferencing? So whenever you will get the hearing notice from the CIT appeals office, so then you can submit your written submission in the e-filing portal. And in the e-filing portal only, there is one tab where you can see in my screen that you can ask for the seek video conferencing. And In that tab, once you will click, then you need to upload your wakalatnama or power of attorney, and then based on that that request, you need to you will get the hearing notice. In the hearing notice, you will get a link for the hearing, as well as you will get the password. So through which you can do video conferencing. So whenever you are submitting written submission before the CIT appeal, in the last paragraph you should write, we request your honor to kindly provide an opportunity of personal hearing through video conferencing so that we can explain you our case in detail. Introduction of JCIT. So, what is JCIT appeal? So, when earlier, when the physical appeals were there, so from the physical appeal to the faceless regime, so there was lots of pendency, and there were lots of bottleneck for transferring all these cases from JCIT, from the CIT appeals to the faceless regime. And there was lots of pendency. Even finance minister has acknowledged this, that there was lots of pendency in the appeals, in the appeal in the appeal regime. And for the speedy disposal of the small matters, they have introduced in the Finance Act 2003 Joint Commissioner of Appeals. So what is happening here, that whenever there is a small matters, all these small matters has been transferred to JCIT appeals, so that faceless CIT appeals will focus mainly on the big matters. Pros of the scheme. So which are the main benefits of the scheme? First is integrity, reliability, so time saving. So earlier, when I was handling the matters CIT Pills, so I was going to CIT Pills office from my office. So one way 2 hour traveling time, and then 2 3 hours waiting time. So my entire day was getting wasted. Now even today, I have done a hearing for 2 years before CIT appeals. So my hearing was started around 3 p.m. and the hearing got completed at 3:25. Within 25 minutes, I have completed the hearing for the matter which was pending since last 8 years. So it will save time. Orders will be passed on merit. All the technical aspects of the appeal will be properly taken care of, and transparency of the and record keeping will be very proper. So there are many benefits of this faceless regime. Challenges. So many times, many practicing chartered accountant are telling me that, sir, there is a communication gap between the appellant and CIT appeal. So practically, let me tell you my experience. So I have not faced any of this scenario in my 17 years of professional experience. So why the chartered accountant and taxpayer are facing this communication gap? Because they are not putting the effort required for presenting that matter before the CIT appeals. So the phases earlier in the physical regime, you are having a comfort, you are going there, you are explaining the case one to one before the to the CIT appeals, and you are able to do all these stuff properly. But now in the phases regime, you need to present your case in a more scientific way. You need to present your case systematically. You need to give all the documents systematically in a proper way, and you need to raise your argument in a proper way. You cannot raise vague arguments like what I do, what me and my team is doing. So whenever we got a case, so we do brainstorming that what questions, when this written submission will go to CIT bill, what question will come in the mind of CIT bill when he will read my submission. So we do the brainstorming that what question can be crop up in the mind of CIT pool. So we do brainstorming and we find out all those questions in advance, and we find out the answer of all those questions, and we give questions as well as answer in our written submission, so that CIT, whenever CIT will read my written submission, he will get in brief, in detail, everything at one instances. So if you do this practice, then there will be no communication gap between appellant and CIT appeal. If you are not doing this, you will face difficulty and you will get negative orders. Getting the date of hearing. So this is the practical challenge. So in many of the cases where appeal has been filed in the old regime, in the physical regime, In many cases, the case records has not been transferred to the faceless regime, and taxpayers are getting difficulty for getting the date of hearing. But the income tax department is clearing the backlog in a gradual way, and slowly and gradually, last 2 3 years, slowly and gradually, the date of hearing is getting, and the orders are getting disposed. So even if you're not getting the date of hearing, what you can do, so there is a dedicated email ID samadhan.faceless.appeal@incometax.gov.in, where you can write your case. You can drop them an email and you can tell them, "Ke boss, please provide us the opportunity of a personal hearing, and we please give us the out of the turn hearing." Simultaneously, what you can do, you can write a letter to your jurisdictional CIT. And jurisdictional CIT is having the power to direct the faceless CIT appeal to prioritize hearing in your case. Best practices for taxpayers. So, what you should do to avoid any kind of adventure in the income tax assessment and appeal regime? So, regularly check updates and notices. So how you can check? So you need to depute one person from your office that that they need to check whether any email, whether any notice has been issued by the income tax department, and this is must for all the practicing chartered accountant in the month of March. So what I am doing, so in case, since I have many multiple, in case of many of my clients, multiple litigation I am handling. So what I am using, there are certain AI tools through which you can track all your clients appeal or assessment matter in a single click. So I can share you about that particular AI software after my session. Robust documentation. So your documentation should be steep, crisp, concise, and you cannot submit a document like anything and everything. Data to be aligned, submitted with the other statutory, non-statutory authorities. So how you can submit, in your case, you are submitting that the turnover in case of your company is say 50 crore, and you are showing this turnover in the income tax return as 50 crore. In your GST return, you have shown a turnover of 45 crore. Then you should have the region, you should have the reconciliation why GST turnover is 45 crore, why income tax turnover is 50 crore. Because income tax and GST department, now they are brothers, and they share all the information to everyone on a regular basis. Even in 26 years, we are getting the GST turnover. So if there is a mismatch, you will be in trouble. Written submission should be to the point. You should write written submission to the point, and accordingly you should submit these details. And another point is this: email ID and contact numbers should be regularly updated here. Best scanning practices. So this is most important slide of my presentation. So let me give you a practical example of one of my clients' case. So in case of that particular company, assessing officer made a huge addition in the assessment proceeding. So I was reading the assessment report and I was finding out that why the addition was made. So what I found that during the course of assessment proceeding, assessing officer raised a specific question on one point, and their consultant has submitted that document before the assessing officer. What the consultant did, they have submitted one 10-page document, a scan document, and that document was completely blur. So nobody can read that document from the naked eye that what exactly the content of that document. So if you give trouble to the eye of the income tax officer is going to slap you with a notice, hefty tax demand. So in the faces regime, you should invest in a good scanner. Whenever you are submitting any document with the income tax faceless regime assessment, be it assessment or be it appeal, make sure the document is clearly legible. You should able to read that document with a naked eye. Don't think that the CIT appeal or assessing officer will zoom the document to read the document. And you need to highlight the relevant portion of the document. So there are many AI tools available in the market. So all of you should use those AI tools to scan the document. You cannot submit a document having a size of more than 10 MB. So what you can do in that case, that you need to split the document. So there are many AI tools through which you can split the documents, and you should keep a complete track about all these steps. So scanning practice is more must important for everyone to do this to get a favorable decision from assessment and appellate proceedings. So now I'm coming to my last slide. So based on my practical discussion with many practicing chartered accountants, so I jotted down couple of FAQs which they normally ask this from me. So for the sake of understanding, for the sake of understanding with with everyone, so I'm just sharing this with you. So that first question is how we will get the hearing notice if the appeal is filed physically and not yet disposed. So you need to write an email to the Faceless Appeal Center, samadan.faceless.appeal@incometax.gov.in, and you need to also file a letter with your jurisdictional CIT. Go and meet them, and you simultaneously you can file a complaint with CP Gram for getting the appeal date, getting an early date of hearing. In case of so the second question is in case of electronic communication, what would be the time and place of dispatch and receipt? So whenever you have received any email from the income tax department, the date and time of receipt of the email should be the date and time of place date and time of receipt of that notice. Whether the CIT will need to follow the ruling pronounced by High Court of the physical location jurisdiction. So in your case, suppose your CIT, your jurisdiction is Kolkata, your CIT appeal is located at Andaman Nicobar, then that CIT appeal need to follow the decision of the Kolkata ITAT as well as Kolkata High Court. Another thing, which bench of the income tax tribunal will now have jurisdiction to file an appeal before National ITAT Kolkata only. So with this, I am concluding my presentation. So now I can take questions. If you are having any questions, so I can take one questions one by one. Is Sumit, you need to help me for reading out those questions, then so that I can take each and every question. So in case of I am not able to respond to all the questions, my email ID is given here. So one can drop me an email with respect to their queries, or if you want to connect with me, so ACA is having my contact details. So any of the participant or any of the member of the ACA can connect with me directly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the deliberation. So I have allowed members to unmute themselves because rather than I reading, if some people are able to unmute, they can ask follow-up questions also. So Sananda ji, you can unmute and please ask your question, and if possible, please switch on your camera if you have the availability.
Sir, can you display the slide number 18 once again?
Slide number 18. So I will slide with ACAE, and I think ACAE team will share the entire presentation with all of the members of ACAE. So I think that will be okay. And if you have any specific question with respect to that particular slide, I can take your question. So you can ask your question.
Partho ji, any specific questions related to slide?
सर मेरा एक क्वेरी है। अगर डिमांड ऑर्डर
Yes.
में विकास जी अगर लिखा हुआ नहीं है कि ये लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी होगा या कंप्लीट स्क्रूटनी होगा, एंड
हाँ हाँ
राइट
हाँ
नाउ क्लाइंट हैज रिसीव्ड अ डिमांड, सो
हाँ हाँ
उसको
हाँ।
अपने अपील में फाइल कर सकते हैं क्या?
नहीं तो अभी यू हैव रिसीव्ड द असेसमेंट ऑर्डर ना?
करेक्ट, डिमांड ऑर्डर आई हैव रिसीव्ड।
यू हैव रिसीव्ड असेसमेंट ऑर्डर और 143(1). अभी दो चीजें, एक तो असेसमेंट ऑर्डर हुआ, एक हुआ 143(1). 143(1) हुआ सीपीसी ने जो रिटर्न मेरा प्रोसेस करके डिमांड निकाल दिया, कोई चीज उसने
यस,
ये क्लेम दिया नहीं, मेरे को डिमांड निकाल दिया। और एक हुआ स्क्रूटनी होने के बाद जो ऑर्डर पास हुआ। तो इन योर केस इस 143(1) और 143(3) इंटीमेशन जो है सीपीसी ने प्रोसेस किया वो है, या एसेसिंग ऑफिसर ने ऑर्डर पास किया है?
143(3) का आया हुआ है।
हाँ, तो 143 थी, यू कैन फाइल एन अपील अगेंस्ट ऑल द ऑर्डर्स ऑफ 143(3).
ओके, उसमें मेंशन नहीं था, मतलब जो स्क्रूटनी का मैसेज डिमांड आया, लेटर आया था, उसमें मेंशन नहीं था कि लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी होगा या कंप्लीट स्क्रूटनी होगा। उसके लिए अपने अपील में फाइल करेंगे। ठीक है सर।
नहीं, बट उसने तो स्क्रूटनी ऑर्डर पास करके डिमांड निकाल दिया होगा ना।
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
तो डिमांड अभी निकाल दिया, तो जो एसयू पे उसने एडिशन किया है, अब लिमिटेड हो या डिटेल हो, अभी उससे फर्क क्या पड़ता है। अभी
ओके
उसने ऑर्डर पास कर दिया, अभी यू नीड टू फाइट दैट ऑर्डर। तो
ओके
अभी
ओके
क्या, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स बनाओ, उसमें आपके फैक्ट्स जो है वो डिटेल में आप लिखो और अपील आप फाइल करो।
ओके
अभी वो लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी है, डिटेल स्क्रूटनी, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। उसने ऑर्डर ऑर्डर एक बार मयान से एक बार तीर अगर निकल गया, तब तो वो मतलब अब तो उसको वापस नहीं लिया जा सकता ना। ऑर्डर पास हो गया, डिमांड निकल गया, नाउ यू हैव ओनली ऑप्शन फाइल द अपील एंड फाइट द
ओके
केस बिफोर सीआईटी अपील।
ओके ओके। थैंक यू विकास जी।
या, वेलकम।
Hello, hello. I have a question. So this,
यस।
uh, uh, I know the provision for faceless hearing why it is there, but say we have a lot of documents, thousands of documents to be produced in appeal. Is there a way to get it converted into personal in-person hearing?
Normally, they don't allow in personal hearing just because you are having thousands of documents. So you can submit 10 document at a time. So even in many of my cases where we have submitted around 1,000 documents. So what we have converted, we have divided these 1,000 documents. Suppose in 1,000 document 10 MB into 100 parts, and we have submitted these document in 10 parts, and we have given the reference of all the 10 parts in our written submission. And simultaneously, what we did, we have submitted all the document to the Faceless Faceless Appeal Center email ID. That we have submitted all the document in part. Just for your reference, we are submitting these documents so that you can communicate these document to the Faceless CIT appeal on a safer side.
Okay, thank you, Vikash. And you had referred one AI tool, the reference of which you will share at the end of this webinar. Can you please share that?
Yes, so I am started using one AI tool. It's a Jamku, na? What is it website?
Jamku
I think,
is
yeah,
with API, it collects
JAMKU.
the information. Yes.
So I will share the AI tool with with ACA team. So I think the portal is Jamku portal, JAMKU portal. So I've met these people in some of the ICI conferences. So then and it's not that costly. So I think annual subscription is roughly around 5 to 6 thousand. So and this is useful. So in my case, my team is keeping a track of all the income tax notices at one go. So we have synced all our clients' income tax e-filing login ID and password in that portal. And every day in the morning we are running it, and within half an hour we are getting all the details that in which client income tax department has issued a notice, and in which client they have raised some demand or anything. So
This
this
is
is a
a
helping
tool
tool.
by
So
with users for GST and income tax both, and as Bikash sir said, it is
yes, yes,
co-founded
yes,
by
yes.
two CAs.
Ha
So
ha ha
that's
ha ha
the
ha.
best part about it.
Yes, so I'm not using GST. I'm using for income tax purpose. But if someone is having their GST litigations also, they can use it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So any more questions, please unmute and speak.
I think there are a couple of questions in the chat box, so I can take those questions also. So
I
that
think, sir,
there is one.
before that, there were two, three people raising hands, which I hope that they were
Yes,
taking.
yes, yes. So you can those who has raised the question can unmute them, and then they can ask the questions.
Okay, sir, let's take the questions from the chat then.
So I think there are certain questions from the chat box, so that how many adjournments can be taken in faceless appeals. So ideally, I don't recommend anyone to take adjournment in the faceless appeal, because in the faceless appeal you are getting the hearing notice in very difficulty. So ideally, what practice I am following, that whenever I am filing the appeal, within 15 days I am preparing the return submission and complete the case. So you can ask the adjournment one or two times, but and whenever you are filing the adjournment, you will get adjournment only for 15 days. But make sure whenever you are filing an appeal, Within 15 days, prepare your return submission and don't seek the adjournment because there is lots of pendency in the CIT bill and there will be chances that if you take adjournment for 15 days, they will give you the next hearing notice 2 years later or 3 years later. So it's recommended that don't take any adjournment. Many times notice, again, second question, many times notice of hearing is given the submission and filed and the officer does not issue any further notice. When one can expect the outcome of the appeal? So this is the practical issue I am facing this. So in case of many of my clients, I have followed up with the faceless regime, jurisdiction CIT as well as CP Gram for getting the appeal disposed, getting the hearing of the appeal at the earliest possible time. So you need to follow up in all the cases. And still, if you are facing difficulty, you can connect with me. I can help you to get out of it. So Amit has asked one question. This is very relevant question. That procedure for filing the stay petition in both the cases, pre-deposit of 20% is voluntary paid and not paid. So there is a presumption in the mind of the chartered accountant that for filing the appeal before CIT bill, you need to pay 20%. In my 17 years of practice, I have not paid at a single rupee in any of the cases, in any of my client. We have filed the appeal and we have filed application for stay before the assessing officer, before the CIT, and we have not paid any pre-deposit. So this pre-deposit is the question is not the pre-deposit, that if you make payment of 20%, which is now made to 10% from this budget. So if you make a payment of 10% of the outstanding disputed demand, then you will get a stay of the demand till the disposal of appeal by CIT appeal. So then yes, email. So one Akshay also asked the email. So the email for the is samadhan.faceless.appeal@incometax.gov.in. Sagar has asked one question, Sagar Jain, that in case one of the appeal remand report was obtained by the CIT will ask the SSC for reply against the same by 15 times, issue of notices and all the notices were replied, yet the case has not been disposed of. What is the remedy available? So you need to file CP gram or you need to follow up with the to faceless appeal center. You drop them an email with respect to your case and then you need to ask remedy about this particular stuff. Then only I think so. This is a practical issue. Many of the taxpayers are facing this practical issue, so but you need to follow rigorously follow up with them, then only they will dispose of the matter. So CA Partha Chakravarti has asked that can you please display the slide number 18? So I think I will share my complete presentation with ACAE team. So ACAE team can circulate this presentation with all the members of ACAE and those who has or those who are in the session to today's session. So Akshay again asked one question that whether appeal can be filed against 143(1) or 154. You can file an appeal against both the orders. So you check the time limitation and you can file the appeal against both the order 143(1) also and 154. I think I missed out one question. So Harsh has asked a question with respect to ITAT appeal also online. So ITAT appeal is getting online. So it's not 100% active, but it is in the process of getting 100% online. Hmm. Any other question from any of the member?
Yeah.
Hello?
Shashikant ji, if you were asking anything, we were not able to hear you. So the state
Sir,
petition with
it
respect
it
to
was not related. It is not related to This assessment, it is related to assessment proceedings rather. Can I ask the question?
Yes, yes, yes. You can ask the question. Na? You can ask any question with respect to assessment and appeal.
Regarding this assessment, I have a peculiar situation. I had asked for adjournment. I filed and it was adjournment was seek for 17th February. But on
Huh?
14th February, the ITO disabled it. This submission was disabled on 14th February itself without giving any
Okay.
reason. So I have now pursuing with the matter with the Faceless Samadhan or all these avenues. So is there any further scope where I can fight this thing?
Your assessment is going on. What is the due date for passing the order? This 31st March.
Yes.
31st March. So ideally, they should allow you to submit the reply. So you should ask, you should write down the faceless assessment regime as well as you should file a letter with the jurisdiction CIT office as well as you should write a letter to the CP Gram. So you have three options. I think once I think you will do it, then I think you will get an opportunity to submit the response.
So I
Because
went
in
to the judicial CIT office. They said in case of faceless, we are unable to do anything. You have to only option is faceless Samadhan. That's all.
so you drop an email now to the faceless Samadhan as well as you file a CP gram that in my case the
Yes,
assessment is not
CP
yet
Gram,
complete.
CP Gram also have written. CP Gram also
हाँ
they have also referred the matter to Samadhan only.
हाँ
So
So
there is no other way, no?
you need to chase them like anything.
Pardon,
And
sir?
how many adjournment you have taken in this case?
This is the only first adjournment.
This is wrong. In the first adjournment only how they can do this. So I think there may be technical issue from the side of the portal. Ideally, they don't do like this. They allow 3 4 adjournment in any of the cases. In the first adjournment, they cannot block the reply. So what you can do, so you drop an email to the jurisdictional ITO
Okay,
with a request that he should share these details with the faceless assessment regime so that why you this will help you that suppose if the income tax officer will pass an order without providing you an opportunity to submit all the details, so you have these document as a documentary proof that you have submitted these document before the all the authorities and you have raised this complaint. Also write down a letter to the jurisdiction CIT with respect to this and tell them to kindly give a direction to the faceless regime to provide you an opportunity. Since in your case the time barring date is 31st March, you have still 1.5 month
fine. Yeah.
to close the
So
assessment.
you are advising to file all the documents also along with the
Yes, yes,
submission.
yes. Keep all the document as evidence.
Fine. Those no evidence I have kept. So I will also file all the submission and documentary evidences with submission to the jurisdictional ITO as well as the CIT, so that this submission is already there on record. That's what you are
Yes,
suggesting.
yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So you should share all the stuff because many times these people are working in an arbitrary manner. So we
Mm-hmm.
should know what is our right and how we can fight so that our client should not face any difficulty due to all these adventures.
It's fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, Sumit, I think there is one or two questions from in the chat box that CA Taraknath Dej asked one question that dissolution of partnership on 1st April 2017. The business due to lack of awareness, current account maintenance in the proprietorship firm now demand has came. Matlab, I'm not able to understand. Is there any order has been passed in case of this partnership firm?
sir, I think that there was a bank account which was the partnership firm was closed, but the bank account was operated in a proprietorship, and now there's a demand.
Okay, but they have passed an order in with respect to the partnership firm or proprietorship firm.
Tarakda, you need to unmute and then address the question. Sir, I
Well,
think is the question answered that stay petition is required to be filed with the jurisdictional AO in hard copy with respect
yes,
to
yes, 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 yes. Jurisdictional AO in hard copy as well as you can submit the uh, stay petition copy against the income tax demand showing in the tax portal.
Okay. Tarakda, you were
And when
unmuting probably. Yes, please. Demand has come in whose name? Tarakda was the question. The proprietorship or the partnership? I think it must be in the name of the partnership only. Partnership form.
so you should file an appeal. So if the demand has been came in the name of partnership firm, then you need to file an appeal in the name of partnership firm, and you should fight the case before CIT appeal, since they have already passed the. So you should file the appeal in the name of partnership firm only. Akshay has asked one question that which type of cases are adjudicated by JCIT appeal. So only the cases where the tax effect is very low. So you can say that 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, or up to 10 lakh. So, and this is getting transferred automatically through the system only. So there is no manual process. So they are doing through AI only by checking the database.
Hello, sir. Once we file the appeal on the portal online, then
Yeah.
are we still required to file the hard copies in the department?
No, 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 no.
I see. Okay. So
Not
fine.
required.
Fine. And second question is that in all the like limitation to file appeal, condonation of delay, etc. So you said that 30 days is the time limit to file the appeal, and thereafter most other statutes they like say GST. GST allows time for 90 days to file appeal, and then only 30 days grace period, and thereafter the appeal cannot be filed. The appellate authority does not entertain beyond 90 plus 30 days. So we don't have any similar provision in income tax. After 30 days, this much is the grace period, and
You
thereafter appeal
can
cannot
file.
be filed.
So in my case, even I have filed the appeal where there was a delay of more than 4 years, and I was able to successfully condone the delay and get the appeal disposed in favor of my client.
That
So
was
in
done
income,
before
in
CIT
income,
appeal only.
in income tax there is no such kind of foundation. So only thing is that if there is
न्यू
a
का
delay in
नियर का है
filing,
होगा नियर हटाओ कॉमा करो
so
रोड के बाद कॉमा
so in case of income tax, if there is a delay in filing of appeal, so you should file appeal with an application for condonation of delay, and in which in the application for condonation of delay, you should write the reason why the appeal was filed late.
Mhm. Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
So Chetan sir is asking one question: what if we are not getting date of CIT appeal in case of faceless appeal from 3 to 4 years? So we should file an application to samadhan.faceless.appeal@incometax.gov.in, as well as we should file a letter to jurisdictional CIT, and simultaneously we should file a CP gram. So if we will do all these three things, then there is a very high chance that we will get a date appeal hearing date at the earliest possible time.
सन ऑफ रमेश कुमार धोनी
Yes, so I'm taking last question from Amit. So Amit has written that is there any time limit for disposal of appeal by CIT appeal? So unfortunately, there is no time limit given to CIT appeal for disposal of the appeal. So in case of few matters, even the appeal is pending since last 5 to 10 years. So we are expecting some guidelines from the part of the Income Tax Department, Finance Minister, that they should give some deadline that if the order is not passed within this period, the appeal shall be disposed of in favor of the taxpayer. Ideally, they should bring out with some provision like this, because you cannot keep the appeal pending for a so long time, na? No, so you are asking whether all the documents which are to be submitted during the course of assessment proceeding is required to be filed with Form 35. No. Along with Form 35, you should not file anything other than the four things: statement of facts, grounds of appeal, appeal payment challan, copy of assessment order, and that's it. No other document. So there is no such requirement. So if the Form 35 is asking for those details, so you can write down that these details shall be submitted during the course of the personal hearing. Sumit, do we have time? Can we take more questions?
Sir, we are okay if you are okay. Matlab,
I'm okay. So if members are having any questions, I can take a couple of more questions. So I think because all these are practical questions. So
the objective of GD is to get more inputs directly, sir. So if there are any questions, happy to
Can I
take.
ask one more question, please?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So when in the case of a raid, there was some seizure was made. So
Huh?
the HSC, while filing this return, he has considered it as a self-assessment tax, the seizure of cash amount,
Huh?
giving a 11141 like that challan number. So
Huh?
there is a requirement of the appeal that appeal can be allowed only if the tax amount has been paid, the due tax amount paid on the return income. So will it be
Huh?
considered this self-assessment tax or not?
You can consider it, but have you filed an application with the respective income tax officer of Central Circle that this cash has been seized from the premises of the taxpayer during the course of raid? So kindly treat this cash as self-assessment tax paid for this year. Have you written any communication with the income tax officer? Ideally, you
No,
should do
I've
it.
not found it, sir. I've not found it.
So ideally,
Sorry
you
to
should
say
do
that.
any communication with the respective officer, and then I think you can take it and you can, if the CIT will ask that where you have paid the taxes, then you can say that about this case has been seized from my premises, and I have already requested that this case should be used as a self-assessment tax for this year.
In case
So
he has
you
not returned, then is there any chance that it will be not considered?
On technical grounds, CIT appeal can reject, but normally they don't reject on these type of technical grounds. So you should convince CITP with your return, with your submission, and you should do this communication till the time you are getting the appeal hearing. So you should do this communication with the jurisdictional income tax officer as well as jurisdictional CIT, so that you
Okay,
should have something on record to show them.
fine, fine. Thanks, sir. Thanks for the advice.
And so, what is the rule for allowing new evidence to be produced for the first time in the appeal hearing, which was not produced in the assessment stage?
Yeah. Yes. What was the question? I think your voice was not very audible.
Okay.
I think.
So my question is regarding allowance of new evidence in appeal hearing for the
Uh,
first time produced, which was not produced
uh,
in the assessment.
so you can submit those additional, so these are called additional evidence. So you can submit these additional evidence in a separate submission, and you should explain that why this document has not been submitted before the assessing officer. And in the case of additional evidences, CIT will send this document to the assessing officer for remand report. And once this remand report will receive from assessing officer, then only the CIT will pass the order. So you can do it, but you need to provide a genuine reason as per Rule 46A that why this document has not been submitted before the before the assessing officer, and give the reason. You need to submit the affidavit, or you need to submit the relevant case laws to support of your claim and why this has been should be admitted. So Amit has asked one, I think this question I have missed out in my presentation. So Amit has asked this question: how to file fresh grounds of appeal, additional grounds of appeal. So you can file an additional ground of appeal during the course of appeal proceeding. Suppose you have already filed an appeal, and if you, during the course of preparation of the appeal, you want to file an additional ground of appeal. So, as per one of the Supreme Court decision, you can file an additional round of appeal before CIT appeal. So, you can file it before the hearing, or you can file it up even after the during the course of hearing also. And the reason for filing this additional round of appeal before CIT appeal.
Thank you.
So I think there are no more questions, sir. We have been able to address all of the queries. And I, again, on behalf of ACA, would like to thank you for your valuable time and the knowledge shared among us. And because we would look forward for more such sessions and even some physical session over a period of time. So thank you so very much once again on behalf of the audience and the association, and look forward from more such sessions from you. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sumit, and thank you everyone for joining this session. So, still, if anyone is having any queries, so my details is with Sumit. So, I will share my presentation with ACAE team. So, they will share this presentation with all of you. And if anyone is having any practical queries, so they can reach out to me anytime. So, my contact details is there. My contact details and my presentation will be shared with everyone in the ACAE group. Thank you, team.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you all for joining and making it a successful session. Thank you so very much. I hope we are able to add value. And the next session is on 25th, which is on DPDP. So look forward for having you in the next session. Thank you so very much.